let's get started in the interview.
Okay, so I have some like kind of warm-up question. Also
Cool.
because my teacher actually told me to ask this because she was actually interested
Oh,
in like
cool.
the yeah.
Yeah.
So you've been in this industry for 6 years now. I'd say
Yes.
I was doing my research and you had a post that said 5 years and the post was like 1 year old, so about 6 years now.
Yes,
So
yes.
what was
How
your
cool.
first acting job?
What was my first acting job?
Yeah.
So that's interesting. So when it comes to acting, you do these sort of short films slash student films,
Yeah.
similar to Red Hood Resurrection, but way lower budget
Mm-hmm.
because you need like, footage to kind of submit to agencies so that they can see you as an actor and see if they want to represent you. So would you like me to go over like my very first project ever, like with a student film, or like a project of mine that was actually like, for example, the Netflix project is like my first bigger project. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess both. Like your
Okay.
first actual connection to actually doing any acting and the first more professional thing that you got
Role.
on.
Okay, yeah, sure. So my first role ever, I had started acting, I think 6 months prior, and it was called Las Virgenes, which is the Virgins in Spanish. And it was a traditionally Mexican-based film,
Mm-hmm.
and I play a cheating ex-boyfriend. And that's usually like my typecast. Typecasts are when actors have certain roles that they just fit the look for. And my typecasts are usually cheating ex-boyfriend, douchebag, jock, like an athlete who's like an asshole,
Yeah.
and then closeted gay is what I usually get. So those are my four typecasts where it's like I get those auditions all the time. But yes, I was the cheating ex-boyfriend, and to sum it up, they basically use Mexican culture and traditions, and they behead me, basically restoring the girl's virginity. It's a short film. It's usually one of those stupid sort of plots, but yeah, that was my first film ever. And then my first professional film, or we call it SAG, I guess you can say, where it's basically a union for actors, to where they how do I explain it? They take care of the actors a little bit more because now you're under union, so they treat you with a higher sort of respect. And that was for my Netflix show. It's called Obliterated. I don't know if you've heard anything about that, but
Yeah,
I
I've seen
played.
it on TikTok.
Well, there you go. Yeah. I play a stripper on a show called Obliterated. I was 21 years old, so I had been acting for 2 years at that point. I've obviously been taking classes and I've been getting better since then, and then also prior to booking it. But basically they give me a prosthetic 10-inch penis. And I get to whip it out, put some whipped cream on it, and show the world what Johann Fitch is made of. So yeah. It was a really fun experience. Also, watching Netflix shows growing up to be a part of a streaming service like that was really cool. Like just to see
Yeah,
how
must be
everything's
like
made.
a out of
Yeah.
body thing.
Yeah, the scale of it. I was so nervous. I was freaking out my first day. I tried improving. Improving means like making lines up on the spot. I do that a lot on Red Hood Resurrection, and Noah loves it. Netflix did not love it. They told me to stop doing that. They said stick to the script. And I was like, yeah, of course, no worries. Sorry about that. And it made me feel very self-conscious. But overall, amazing experience. I got to strip for the first time and do a whole dance routine. And with that big of a, private part, it was really fun. So yeah, those are my first experiences, I guess you could say.
And how did you learn about Red Dead Resurrection, about the project in itself?
Yeah, so David and I actually did a film together back in 2021, and I played his gay best friend. And we were football players, and we got along really well in set. And ever since then, we exchanged contacts, and we would hop on calls and just hang and just like catch up and see how each other were doing. and we would actually do Zoom calls and like practice our acting, do scenes together just for fun. And one day he told me that Noah Byer, the director of Red Hood
Mhm.
Resurrection, was interested in doing Red Hood Resurrection, and he knew how big of a fan I was of superheroes, and my dream role is Nightwing. But David is older than me, and he kind of looks older than me, and we both kind of agreed that that wouldn't have fit what we were going for. And he goes, "Are you interested in playing Tim?" At this time, I was 21, so I looked a little younger. I'm 25 now, so it's been 4 years since this call between him and I. But he was like, "Hey, I'd love for you to be Tim Drake. We're gonna focus more on Tim and Jason's dynamic, so it's not like you're gonna be like in the background. You're gonna be the second main character." And I was like, "Okay, cool, yeah, I'd be interested." And we went over the script. I said, "Yeah." They just gave me the role. I didn't even have to audition because David vouched for me because he knew how passionate I was about the character and everything like that. And I had already been working on bow staff work and training in martial arts. So they offered me the role, and then they started having auditions for everyone else, and we got together the cast. And then I think 2020, the end of 2021 was our first time reading through this full script through Zoom all together. And originally we had a different person playing Nightwing, but then he actually bailed on the project. And then we found Nick, I think 2 years later.
Yeah, that actually answered my next question. That was, how did you get the opportunity to play Tim Drake?
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, to dial in on it a little bit more, I love Nightwing, and that is obviously my dream role. I don't know if you're aware of that,
Yeah,
but
yeah. I have questions about that
beautiful, beautiful.
later.
I
Yeah.
won't, say too much on that. But tackling Tim Drake and he learning more about him through the comics and through the different iterations of him, I've grown to love Tim Drake because at first he was like my least favorite Robin. Now I love him a lot to where he's my second favorite Robin. Uh, Dick Grayson's still first. Okay. But just learning more about Tim Drake and being able to kind of get more aware of how he thinks and how he moves, especially the way that Red Hood Resurrection has written him. It resonated a lot with me because he deals with a lot of like imposter syndrome and insecurities and a lot of doubt within himself as a Robin. But he just cares so much about doing the right thing and being a part of a family and being accepted and his love from uh Batman and everything like that. So it was fun tackling that role. So even though at first I was hesitant because I was like, oh, I don't really like Tim Drake. He's not really, I really enjoyed it. And I kind of see it as like a stepping stone for Nightwing because you can't be Nightwing without being Robin first, is what I always
Yeah.
say. So yeah.
Yeah. And how much did you know about Tim before actually starting to read up and prepare more for him
Hmm.
versus now that you played him and had to do a lot of research on him?
Yeah. I kid you not, the only thing I knew about Tim Drake was two things. Was the Tim Drake from Young Justice,
Mm-hmm.
which I wasn't a fan of. I don't really like that Tim Drake. He's very like solemn and to himself, and he is a little dorkier. And then in Teen Titans Go, when there's that episode with a bunch of Robins, and he's like, nobody cares about Tim Drake. And that's all I knew about Tim Drake. Um, Now I know a lot. Now I know all his different iterations. And my favorite one is from Batman the animated series. That's my favorite version of Tim Drake when he's really young. And I studied up on a lot of different comics and I did like research of just like breakdowns of Tim Drake on YouTube and everything like that to kind of gain a perspective. He feels almost like the Donatello of the Robins. Donatello, like Teenage Mutant Ninja
The
Turtles.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah. But he still has a little bit more lightheartedness. At least it shows that in the Batman the animated series. And a little bit in Gotham Knights, I feel like.
the
But
game.
yeah, the game. Yeah. So I kind of try and combine all those iteration plus throwing a little bit more of like Dick Grayson from Young Justice in there. just to kind of
Yeah, I can
still,
see that. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, just to still touch base with the character I really want to play. So I do kind of play Tim Drake with a little bit of Dick Grayson in there, but I still make him my own in a way. So my knowledge on Tim Drake has grown vastly since I first started.
Yeah, and besides the actual research into comics and watching YouTube videos, how did you prepare for Tim?
So every single episode I've prepared a little differently, I feel like, because we film every episode almost 6 months to a year apart. Um, so I guess the first time I tackled Tim Drake was more about learning the character and then focusing more on the martial arts aspects of it. I wanted to really nail the action sequences as best I could. Um, then the second time tackling him, I was more in tune of like making sure I captured his little brother energy, you know?
Yeah.
Kind of the shithead energy that I bring to Red Hood Resurrection. And so that required a lot more, how can I say I prepared? I just through acting classes and different techniques I learned and just trying to remember to stay connected and acting is all about being human and focusing on the person in front of you and just being present and just kind of training that along with also like Tim is a detective, and he very much knows what Jason's up to in a way, a lot of the times. Not all the times, but a lot of the times. And so in doing so, he wants to also prove himself that he's worthy of the mantle of Robin. And so I kind of was thinking back to moments in my life where I felt the need to prove myself or to kind of show people like I'm meant to be here and kind of go over that sort of my own psyche and bring that to Tim Drake and the way that I handle things where it's like obviously I'm not going to be like please let me be Robin but like there's that sort of self-doubt but also like urge to show you like look I can do this I can be a part of the team I can be helpful I can be the Robin to your Batman you know and so that sort of energy I try and bring to Tim Drake and then Becoming Robin is a prequel of Red Hood Resurrection. I don't know if you've seen it yet, but
Yeah.
yeah, cool. So that one was really hard for me because I basically would break down every scene and the timeline of it all, and it would have to go to different sort of memories that I felt resonated with the scene that I was tackling that moment. And so it brought me back to a lot of like times where I felt that I wasn't good enough, or times where I felt like people didn't believe in me, and and then just like the anger of it all, of just of wanting it so bad, but just not being there, like being ready for that role and stuff like that. And so I would translate that into Tim Drake. So it was just a lot of like breaking myself down and then translating it to screen and letting myself feel or be seen as someone who is vulnerable and broken and going through a lot. So those were ways that I tackled that. So each time I've went to playing Tim Drake, I've prepared differently, weirdly enough.
Yeah. Do you think that being a vigilante or a masked hero like Tim, Nightwing, Jason, and all of those is kind of like being an actor? Since you have
Mm,
that not being you, having to perform in a certain way,
mm,
having the imposter
yeah,
syndrome.
yeah, yeah. That's interesting. Mm, I would say the Robins, compared to like their vigilante self to their normal self, isn't as much of a drastic change as like Clark Kent and Superman or like Bruce Wayne and Batman, where they're really playing someone differently. Because when you see Dick Grayson out in the world, he's very much like Nightwing without the mask. He's very, I mean, obviously he's not doing backflips to get a Starbucks, but like, he's just a kind, genuine person. And I think Tim Drake and Red Hood is more reserved. You know, he's not as aggressive, I'd say, when he's Jason. But Tim Drake out in the world and out in public, he's very much like a friendly person, and he's just I think he's able to turn the switch on and off to where it's like, okay, I'm in work mode and I'm in Tim Drake in high school mode. And it's just like how we are as people, where it's like when I'm playing, I grew up playing soccer. When I'm playing soccer, I'm in the environment, I'm moving how I would when playing soccer. But when I'm out in class or like in my real world, I'm not in the same mental state as I would be. And so you kind of got to bring that into acting a little bit too, because you want to be truthful. You're not really lying. You're trying to be as truthful as you can be in those fake scenarios and circumstances. So I don't really feel like an imposter when I'm acting, but I feel um I definitely let myself be more open in certain ways than I wouldn't in reality. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because you have that like excuse
Excuse
to feel
to
those
go
things
there.
and to show those emotions.
Yes, yes. Because people are gonna be like, "Oh wow, that was amazing acting," but in reality, I'm like having a crash out or I'm breaking down. You know?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So I saw that a lot of actors have been doing this recently or showing that they're doing this recently, which is having a playlist for the character that they're playing. Did you have a
Hmm.
Team Drake playlist?
Funny enough, I had a Tim Drake TikTok edits like folder. And it's not so much like my edits, the edits people made of me. There's certain edits on TikTok that kind of like get me there emotionally or will get me there when I need it like a little love scene or anything like that, just because it's quicker rather than a song because it kind of builds up and everything like that. TikTok edits just tend to hit me a little harder, a little quicker, which is necessary when you're on set because you can
Yeah.
be they're like, "Hey, you're going to be on in like 10 minutes." And I'm like, "Okay." I put my headphones in, no one else is around me. I'm just looking at the edits and I'm like letting it hit me and I'm like, "Okay, cool." And then I'm there. Depending on what I need.
Yeah.
Now if it's like an action scene or like that sort of stuff, I drink a bunch of caffeine and then I listen to like hype edits on TikTok that gets me going, like cool fight scenes or whatever, and that'll get me like amped up. But like when I need to be emotional and kind of let myself feel a little bit more vulnerable, I'll listen to like sad TikTok edits.
Yeah, if you had to actually have a Team Drake playlist, what would be one song that like actually you feel like actually had to be on there?
Tim Drake, sorry, what was that?
If you had to have an actual Team Drake playlist, like on
Oh.
Spotify, what would be one song that you actually think should be on there?
Hmm. Let me go through my playlist real quick.
Yeah.
Hmm. Give me a second. I think here. Interesting, interesting. Tim Drake has so many different moods, but I would probably go with um Lost Boy, probably.
Yeah. Do you want to know the one that I would put on there?
Yeah, yeah, please.
Masterminds by Taylor Swift. Not in the way that it was written as a
What is it?
kind
Sorry,
of love song.
Mr. What?
Mastermind by Taylor Swift.
Mastermind. Okay, cool, cool,
Yeah,
cool.
because the song goes like because the
Uh-huh.
moment I saw you, I knew I wanted you, and like she masterminded to the moment that she had the guy, and I think it could be like Tim found out
I see.
who Batman and Nightwing
Mm-hmm.
were,
Mm-hmm.
and he masterminded his way into becoming
Into
Robin.
becoming Robin. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I like that. Okay, cool, cool. That's
Yeah,
cool. I like that. I guess I was thinking more of Tim Drake and Red Hood Resurrection rather than Tim Drake as a whole. That makes sense. I like that.
yeah. So now it's on to the Nightwing questions.
Okay, yes.
So you have shown interest in playing Nightwing. Do you take this role of Tim as a preparation to play Nightwing in the future?
100%. Tim Drake is the first time I've got to play a role where I play him over the course of many years. And gone and like come back every 6 months to tackle the same character. And of course, Nightwing is going to need to do that in the DCU because he's
Yeah,
going to be in multiple movies. So that was preparation in that way. Seeing myself grow as an actor and having a better understanding of Tim Drake every time I play him, it's also like me understanding what it means to be a Robin because it's not always about like fighting crime or anything like that. Robin is very much someone who is supposed to keep the family together. I mean, he's the light
yeah,
in Bat for Batman. You know what I mean? And even though Batman isn't in Red Hood Resurrection, hold on, I'm about to sneeze.
yeah.
My bad.
Bless you.
Thank you. Even though Batman isn't in Red Hood Resurrection, Jason and Dick kind of emulate Batman for my Tim Drake.
Yeah,
Um, and so this family is so broken. You know, they have so much trauma and so much not resented, what's the word I'm looking for? Repressed emotions towards one another. And Tim Drake is almost like a therapist plus a little brother plus you know, the band-aid that's supposed to heal the wound of the family. And that's what I feel like it means to be a Robin. Like Dick is Batman's human band-aid in a way.
yeah,
And it helps him restore that feeling of family that he kind of missed out on with his parents dying. So yeah, um, I think it has been a very good preparation and a good stepping stone for when I want to tackle Nightwing, because that's his background, that's his backstory, and to be able to like have all that within me already and like live that out for when I'm Nightwing, it's still gonna be there. Like we are the product of all of our pasts, you know? And
yeah,
to live out Nightwing's past in my own sort of way is great preparation for the character because I've already done the work needed almost. That where I'm Nightwing, I'm just gonna be Nightwing. I'm gonna be able to like I'm like okay, I've already done that. Now I'm just Robin, but older, more mature, which I am at this point in my life, more experiences and different things, situations, and obstacles I need to tackle. But I already have stuff from my past to kind of draw to tackling these new obstacles. So yeah, I'm so blessed. I'm so happy to play Tim Drake.
yeah. You have posted about working out to get a Nightwing physique. Do you feel
Yeah.
more pressure to keep that up since playing Robin, or in the time you're playing a superhero or a vigilante in this case, do you have a bigger pressure to keep up a sort of peak physique?
Mm. I love that. Good question. I've been working out for 10 years now, and I've always wanted to have that physique and I want to keep that physique, but I want to work on my athletics and gymnastics a little bit more, and I can't have that much muscle on me when doing that yet. So I am a little skinnier right now. I'm still built, but I wouldn't say pressure because I know I can get there within a month or two. So I'm kind of working on the other stuff that makes Nightwing Nightwing. And then when it's needed to be on screen, I'm gonna just hit the gym again. I'm still hitting the gym, don't get me wrong, but more intensely so that I can keep that physique for when the time is needed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So not so much pressure, because I want to look like that and I want to stay this way. Um, just kind of drive and excitement to just keep overworking myself, I guess you can say.
Yeah. So you've been
Mhm.
doing acrobatics
Yeah.
or starting to do that gymnastics thing?
hmm
How is that going?
Um, I grew up playing soccer and I played in college, so I'm pretty athletic. So luckily, I'm already able to do many different flips. I was able to do a front flip in my second day. I just needed the training. So it's going well, but it's still like a lot of mental blocks and it's a lot of frustration. Um, because I know I can physically do it. It's just being comfortable in the air and not being
Yeah.
scared of getting hurt and stuff like that. So it's like a mental battle more than a physical battle. So that's
Yeah.
what's interesting about it. But it's making me stretch more and I'm like so sore all the time. But it's fun. It's cool.
Yeah, I
It's
get that
nice to
because
tackle something
I did
differently.
gymnastics as a kid, so I get the soreness and
Yeah.
the because of the stretching
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
the possible injuries because that is
Yeah.
I guess it minor stuff can lead to major injuries.
Yeah, 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 exactly. Like the weakening of the ankles could end up tearing an ACL later on just because your ankles are so weak and they can't support it. So, yeah, I'm trying to focus on recovery as well, just so like that doesn't happen. Because I would hate
Yeah.
to like be training for like getting an audition for Nightwing and then I freaking tear my ACL and it's like there's no way I can play Nightwing. He's supposed to be doing flips and I can't even stand up, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So how do
Yeah.
you feel when you put on the Robin suit?
How do I feel?
Not as uh Tim Drake or as Dick Grayson, as you. How do you feel when you put on the Robin suit? Not Dick's Robin or Tim's, just that suit, that mental.
Uncomfortable. That's for sure. I feel like I can do so much without the suit. Like I can kick higher, jump higher. With the suit, I'm so restrained. But I feel really cool though. I feel really, really cool. I feel badass. Sometimes I'll put it on and I'm like, man, I'm such a dork. And then sometimes I'll put it on, I'm like, man, I'm such a badass. Like it just depends on the mood and the day. But I'll walk out. The first time I remember I put it on and I looked at myself and I was like, holy crap, this is awesome. I look like Robin. And then I walked out and everyone was like, dude, that looks amazing. You look badass. You look, and it was really like warming the heart in the way where it's like, wow, I can't believe so many people like agree that I look just like Robin. It's so cool. So yeah.
Yeah. Because you do have kind of the Robin's look, because you have the really dark hair.
hmm Yeah, yeah, the
Yeah.
hair, the coloring. I just don't have the eyes. They're
Yeah.
not blue. But I mean, neither does Brendan
Nothing that
Thwaites.
contacts can fix.
Yeah, yeah, I'll rock some contacts, please, of course. But Brendan Thwaites doesn't have blue eyes. Or he plays Nightwing in Titans. So
Yeah, yeah.
he doesn't have blue eyes. Or
Or even
huh.
such dark hairs. There is like
Yeah,
pretty
yeah, he doesn't
light
have that
compared to.
Bird of May. That's all I'm just gonna say. Yeah. But here we are. So
Yeah, but it's interesting that you touched on Titans because my next question actually. So you've posted a picture with Karen Walters and Jaylee Kurgo that
hmm
played Jason and Tim on the show. Did you have a chance to
hmm
talk to them about Red Dead Resurrection or about playing those characters?
Yeah, so Curran actually has seen Red Hood Resurrection. Um, and he I brought it up to both of them. I'm cool with Curran. I have his number. I haven't reached out in a while, but
I DM'd
he
him too.
Oh, did you? Very cool. He's super nice. He's super nice. He gets so many DMs though, so it's gonna be hard for him to see your
Yeah,
DM.
I
But
figured.
yeah, yeah. He's super cool guy. And he's always down to talk about it. Um, I did talk about Red Hood Resurrection, and he actually did like the show, and was he loved how much the fandom resonated with David's Jason, and he had nothing but good things to say about it. And then I showed Jay, who plays Tim Drake, and it was cool because I'm like, dude, I played Tim Drake in a different show.
Yeah.
I could tell he didn't know what was going on. Like he was super confused. He had never heard of Red Hood Resurrection. But he was super nice and sweet. And you can tell he's very kind-hearted and has a big heart. Um, but he had no idea what the hell was going on. I just showed him a photo of me in a Robin costume. He's like, dude, that looks cool. Yeah, you look like Robin. And I'm like, dude, you are Robin. Like, what? So that you are Tim Drake. But yeah, he didn't really know what was going on. But Curran was really nice and was really empathetic and wanted to actually collaborate in a Zoom call so that we could all talk and meet, which was cool. How much he's willing to support Red Hood Resurrection.
Yeah. So, did you think that the project would get so big and popular online as it
No.
did when you signed on to it?
Zero idea. I didn't think anyone was gonna watch it. I I was literally I went into it thinking like, okay, I'm just gonna use this as footage so that I can submit for like auditions for Nightwing later. Like, hey, look, I tackled a role that was like Robin on this fan series. I also didn't think it was gonna look as good as it did. Noah did really good. I mean, you can see the progression from episode one to like now. Like Noah has improved so much as an editor, director, um, writer, everything. So yeah, no, I did not expect this. And then also the edits and everything were awesome. Like everything blowing up on TikTok, so cool. So no, I did not expect this.
Yeah, because the fandom kind of took it as it took off on its own.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Which it makes it more special because it's like it was made for just fans. It wasn't made for like people who didn't know the character. It's like only people who know Jason Todd will understand the story, you know?
Yeah,
So it's cool that the fans resonated with it so much. And we
yeah,
finally got to do a live action Jason Todd justice, you know?
yeah.
And Tim Drake.
Which is because it's fans recommending to other fans. It's
Yeah, the
people
show.
doing not only edits, but actually making TikToks telling people to go watch the show because it's just that good in their opinion and that's accurate to them.
Yeah, it's almost powerful. I mean, they are our marketing team. They're the ones helping push the viewership. And so like we're so grateful for our fans. The fans are what make the show as good as it is because one, they're the ones who donate, but also two, they're the ones who are pushing people to watch it, which is making us get more views, which is making us get more money to keep filming. And because of that, we're probably going to be able to do a season two. So
Yeah, and you literally take me to my next questions on your own.
my
You did the
apologies.
fundraising to get a budget to make the show. If you had a bigger budget, what would
Hmm.
be your top priority? Where will
Ooh.
that extra budget go right away?
Well, if it was up to me, I would want season two, but let's just say if season two was already guaranteed, right?
Yeah,
I would want a really cool Red Robin suit. Um, like an upgrade on the suit to where it like looks a little bit more professional. There's someone we have in mind who makes really good suits. Um, and I would want to contact him and use his suit or have him create the suits for the next season. So like our suits would look top tier to the point where it looks like as if it was the DCU.
yeah,
That's what I would want. The budget to go towards the suits.
Yeah, what is the biggest thing that you learn with this whole Red Hood resurrection experience?
Um, to have fun while doing it, to do all the work and figure everything out that you need to for the character before going on to set, and then when you're on set, like have your lines memorized, have the characters break down and everything you understand about the character. Do that all before getting to set, and then when you're on set, have fun because then it creates the best stuff. Like my favorite scene in the whole show is the apartment scene, and David and I were
Yeah.
just having fun with it, like having fun. Like we know the characters, we know the situation, but we're just having fun at the same time and like improving and just working off each other. And I think that's what makes that scene so good. So I'd say have learned to, it have made me learn to have fun on set and not take it so serious.
Yeah, because that's like the most famous scene.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is the most famous scene, I would say,
Yeah,
quote
it's the one
unquote.
I see the most on TikTok getting reposted and getting used on edits. Yeah.
The apartment scene. Yep.
I was gonna ask if there would be a second season, what would you want the storyline to be? Like based off
Well,
the comics that you know and the
mhm.
shows and the movies.
This I'll tell you what. So I'll tell you what I would like it to be because it's not this.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to spoil it for you. But it would have been really cool if we did a Joker Junior story where I get, you know, tapped with the Joker serum, and then Jason has to save me. I feel like that would have been really cool. Where I'm the one now kind of a little crazy. Or if it wasn't that, a story about Batman being introduced and like Tim and Batman working together, and then we need Jason's help. I think that would have been really cool. Or like, yeah, like Batman gets taken and I'm like, I need help. Jason, will you help me? Or something.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
think that
okay,
would be
that was all the questions I had.
beautiful. Well,